Pedestrians. Are you a pedestrian or are you not a pedestrian? I certainly am, and I certainly am at the moment. But pedestrians and cyclists and horse riders tend to give drivers a bit of a hard time, like they have more right to be on the road than what drivers do. And in actual fact, they're kind of right, aren't they, because they were there first. But what about this new rule, relatively new, might be going back about a year now, where if a pedestrian is wanting to cross the road at a junction, you are supposed to stop and let them. But the trouble is, sometimes it's just not safe to do so. Sometimes you're coming off a roundabout and there's a good possibility you're going to have somebody run into the back of you for basically doing what you're supposed to be doing. Most pedestrians don't really know that much about the highway code, but when it comes to this particular rule, I would imagine that they do. And those die-hard pedestrians that know all the rules of the road but don't drive a car and object to people driving cars and think that people driving cars are polluting evil so-and-sos would probably be glaring at you if you don't actually give way, even though it's not particularly safe to do so. And that is definitely one of those situations where pedestrians feel a bit superior. And it's the non-driving public that make our roads and our taxis for driving and stuff like that much more expensive and a lot less doable, because they're just relying on public transport and they have no real concept of the actual hardships or what it takes to be a driver, or some of the complications and issues to be an actual independent driving person. Independence is the word here. I can walk home if I want to, but if I choose, I can drive. Many professional drivers will on occasion be annoyed by cyclists, van drivers, car drivers, etc. Some of the HGV training now involves having to ride a bike. Yep, that's true. So HGV drivers do see these things from other people's perspective, obviously as car drivers, obviously as pedestrians, and also as cyclists. But it doesn't really work the other way around. And pedestrians have it easy because they have no responsibility at all. They just put their shoes on and go out the house. Beyond being told to look both ways when crossing the road as a child, there's no pedestrian training. You're just left to do it. And then you have pedestrians thinking that they know more about how to be safe on the road than everybody else. I've heard many people bang on about how cyclists should have insurance and road tax. Insurance possibly, but it would be very, very difficult to police. But road tax, come on, that's ridiculous. Really, truly ridiculous. Especially when you consider that some cars are free of tax. So I don't think anyone could possibly argue that riding a push bike, you should be paying road tax to do it. Anyway, the point I'm sort of getting at is that not only do everybody seem to hate each other, but the cyclist is the one that gets the rap off of absolutely everyone. You're in danger riding on the roads. People don't want you on the roads. You can't go on the pavements. Where can you go? And personally, I don't particularly like to ride my bike on the roads. Not because I don't think I belong there, but it's just too jeffing dangerous. As a pedestrian though, you're left alone. Nobody really seems to care. Nobody gives you any grief for anything. Being a pedestrian is actually quite easy, and we should all experience being a pedestrian at some point. But thinking about the way pedestrians just step out and make it your responsibility not to run them over, maybe there should be some sort of pedestrian proficiency test, so that you can't just have pedestrians wandering around unless they've been proven to be able to do it safely. And that does sound quite preposterous, doesn't it? Yes, it does, and it should do. I have experienced this from all angles except for driving a tractor, and I can tell you that driving a truck through towns, cities, trying to make manoeuvres, trying to back up is really not very nice. In fact, it puts me in mind of feeding a pack of really badly behaved dogs. where you've got the food in the bowls and you're just trying to get to the floor so you can feed them, but no, they're jumping up at you, they're jumping up, they're trying to get it off you straight away. That's what pedestrians and car drivers are like with your bit of space whilst you're trying to back up, and it is a bit frightening. Backing up, and you'll get a car driver taking up that bit of space there, wanting to get in it straight away. You can't do your manoeuvre quickly enough because they need to be there, they need to be exactly where you are right now. But of course a nice, well-trained doggy won't do this thing where it jumps up at you to try and get the food. No, it knows to just wait and it will get its food. Ergo, dogs are more intelligent than most car drivers. Now, I have another observation to make here. Recording a video along the main road is a bit like stopping for a wee-wee on the motorway. Just pulling over onto the hard shoulder, getting your tinkle out and doing your business. Not that I've ever done that. And that is because people are whizzing by far too quickly really to take too much notice. Whereas making a video whilst walking through a busy high street is a bit like doing a wee-wee in a shop doorway without first having a kebab and some beer. And I might just add that I've never ever done a wee-wee in a shop doorway either. Right, so I've had this really good idea. When I walk around filming, I always feel a bit embarrassed to see drivers looking, wondering why this man is talking to himself. But they wouldn't bat an eye if I was just talking on my phone like this. You know, it's just somebody talking on the phone. They could be talking about anything, and they just happen to be observing a video at the same time. Just happens to be that it's of themselves. Yeah. But then I thought, maybe I've stopped giving a toss about that kind of thing. And in actual fact, I should be going the other way round, where I want people to see me. I should be wearing my Nigel t-shirt and proudly having a chat with the whole world about what I'm doing, why I'm having a walk. Anyway, got me thinking about a conversation I was having before with Senior Mustard.